I'm Emmalynn.
I'm Jessica.
And today is the start of another vlog. Today we're going to be starting to read only romance books for a week. So first, of course, we have to buy some books. Oh, over there.
Over there.
So I'm expecting I'll buy 0 of 0 books. What about you?
1 of 1.
If you ever don't resonate with the people that like post book hauls of like 40 books,
we're not those
You're
people.
on the right side of the internet because I look at 40 books.
Yeah.
I spend 40 minutes.
And I say, oh, that's cute 40 times. But then I don't ever buy it. And then I go to the library and I'm like, this is basically retail therapy. Because you can get as many as you want for free. Like,
It's true.
why buy when you can free, you know?
The thing is, if the library doesn't have it, I just convince myself I don't even want to read it.
Or it's either like, okay, if the library doesn't have it, if Libby doesn't have it, yeah, then it's just not meant to be.
So we're gonna
It's a
try
sign.
to like maybe get something because happy February 3rd.
Happy birthday
So,
to me.
You know, in order to give the spirit of Valentine's Day, which I think should just be renamed Galentine's because that's the only way I care about it, we're gonna read some silly, goofy books.
We're back after
Just a few hours.
an eventful day of
Buying
unsuccessful
nothing.
shopping. Okay, first let's talk about what we got at Barnes & Noble. So, I had intended on going to buy this, and it was buy one, get one half off. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I have not read anything by Lynn Painter before, and all of the movie quotes at the beginning of the chapters was just really speaking to me, so I wanted to start with this one. And Emmalynn made me this little bookmark. Isn't it so cute? So, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to start with this or with this, which I've had for a while. But Emmalynn really wants me to start here.
I feel like you should just start here to get
and then
yourself
go ahead and read.
into it,
This
into
one.
the romance mood because you've read Sarah Adams before.
And I do read them really fast.
I've really been thinking about rereading it because it just brings me so much joy. And they're dual POV.
Yeah. So I might start on this tonight. I think I will. Ideally for the week, I would read this and then this and then maybe start on this. If I
I
was
think you
having
could do it all.
If I was having a really thriving
Saturday
week.
to Saturday?
Yeah.
7 days, you don't think you can read 3
It's
romances?
possible. I'm
I
really
think you can do
excited
it.
that this is set in Kentucky too.
I'm like barely working this week, and so I'm really going to try to read as much as possible. I bought this at Barnes & Noble. I don't really know what it's about, except that it's definitely inspiration from Taylor, because look at that side profile. And it says All Too Well on the back. I just feel
And it
like...
says this one's for the Swifties.
Yeah.
Well, someone blurbed that, but...
Also, she's short. 330 pages. And...
I thought you meant the girl was short. I was like, how do you know?
Well, then she's not inspired by Taylor. I don't know. This just fascinates me. Things in Hollywood, I feel like there's a lot of books about, like, actors. I don't feel like there's as many about pop stars, except for when they're, like, taking a break.
Emmelynn's looking for something to give her Daisy Jones and the Six Fives, I think.
Honestly, nothing's gonna do it for me. But yeah, I think I'm going to reread it soon because I've never listened to the audiobook before.
Ooh.
And everyone just talks about the audiobook and I just want to listen to it just to see if I like it. And I guess I'll say the first thing I'm going to read. I'm reading One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. My friend got me this for Christmas. We annotated books for each other. And It's pretty funny. And by funny, I mean her commentary is funny. There's lots of womp womps. I would never let that slide. This is my favorite. If it'll focus. Delulu is the Salulu. Incredible. So I'm like 50 something pages into this. Something that I will say, I was kind of like, this is like not how Taylor Jenkins Reid writes. Like, it felt weird, and I was texting my friend about it, and she was like, no, I thought that, and then I realized as she got older, like our main character, because we start the book out when she's 14, and the writing matures with her age, and it changes. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I think I'm also going to read this Lynn Painter book, Betting on You. I don't really know what this is about, except for they, like, make a bet that a boy and a girl, like, can't just stay friends when they say they're best friends, and that's all I know. But look at the cat on the cover. Why is nothing working today? Look at it. Please, look at it. There we go. It has a heart on it. That's it. That's all I wanted to show you. I just think it's so cute, and maybe I'll dip my toes into some Lynn Painter adult books after that. We'll see.
Okay, so for my birthday, I had been wanting a remote for my Kindle, so I got that, except we still need to figure out a stand situation. And then Emmalynn got me this book, Uprooted by Naomi Novik, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she made this little rose bookmark to go in. It's so cute. And then these books are probably ones you haven't heard of, but this book I saw on a YouTube video of like people's favorite Christian author books of the year, and this was like one everyone kept talking about, but someone said it gives them You've Got Mail vibes. So I was like, okay. I don't really know what it's about. I just know it's got You've Got Mail vibes, but it's a romance.
This one also, I just read the synopsis, and it's giving me You've Got Mail vibes, because there's like a secret message, almost like, I mean, if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Another Cinderella story.
Oh, sorry, I just remembered what this is about.
Oh, good. Sure.
Okay, so it's about this man named Henry who, I think he lets out the upstairs of his house, and he lets it out to a woman named Edith, and I think he assumes that she's an elderly person, but they never, it's like they live in the same, or she lives in the upstairs and he lives in the downstairs, but they never see each other because, like, she works the night shift or something. Yes. And so they just kind of, like, leave notes for each other. And that's how they correspond. Oh. And then they eventually meet, and he realizes that she's not an elderly woman, obviously. And so then, like, a romance ensues. But back to Cinderella story. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's giving me the vibes how, you know, our main girl, Hilary Duff, is texting Chad Michael Murray, and she doesn't know who it is.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing. For, like, maybe a year or two ago, Destiny Sidwell talked about how this was one of, like, the only YA romance books she liked. And this was, like, one of her favorite ones. And then I saw it at a thrift store for, like, $2. So I bought it, and I just completely forgot about it.
I remember when you got that in the island, Mercer Island, yeah.
Because on my bottom bookshelf, I have, like, a bunch of romance books that don't really fit anywhere, but I have to have books facing out this way in front of them, and so sometimes I forget that all my romance books are behind them. I just need a different bookshelf.
Yeah.
But I was just looking for something the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just got a new book. I forgot I had that. So we're going to try to read that too.
Okay, another book that's a Christian fiction book, and this was like also one that several people kept saying, but this is Before I Called You Mine by Nicole Deese. I've never heard of her, never read anything by her, but this is about a woman who is a first grade teacher, and she loves children, but she's never been married, never really been in a serious relationship, and she really wants to have kids, so she decides that she's going to adopt internationally. And so she goes through, like, that whole adoption process and everything, but part of the stipulation of her getting approved for adoption is that she has to agree to remain single for, like, the foreseeable future until, I guess, the adoption's finalized and everything. And so she's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then she meets this guy that starts substituting at the school that she teaches at. And she's like, what do I do now? Because she starts falling for him, but she still wants to pursue her adoption. So I just heard this was like a real tearjerker, which is kind of fine. And I might be here for it. I don't know. And then... this isn't really a book or book related, but it carries books.
Oh,
so
true.
I really wanted a Taylor Swift inspired tote bag of some sort, and I saw this one on Amazon, and it has like a different little icon for every song of Folklore, and I was like, this was made for me. Because I love the mirror ball, I love the little suitcase, I love that it says Betty with a little garden. And yeah, it was just made for me. So I'm super excited to just take her everywhere, you know?
You've never been a tote bag, really.
I know, and I don't know why.
Because you have a cute one.
Yeah, I guess. That
And
is
now,
a good reason.
welcome to the obsession. I have too many.
We're going to order some Chick-fil-A delivery and go put comfortable clothes on and
read.
get to reading. So.
And I think we need to test out your little thing.
Yeah, we should. We should try her out. If you use one of these and you are watching this video soon, you can let me know what stand you like, because I don't know which one to get. I don't want one that clips to my nightstand. I know that. I want...
The one I was going to get you didn't.
I guess so that the only other option would be just like a floor one, right?
Yeah.
So, one that you can... well, I mean, I would want it to like be able to be collapsible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to look. I haven't really looked, so you can let me know if you have a preference. But yeah, we should go try this out. Okay, here we are with our little check-in. I am 53 pages in. I'm on chapter 7. I had a LOL moment reading this. Emmalynn was up here with me, and it was just so relatable.
That's fair.
Just kind of a Southernism.
Unfortunately.
If you know, you know. One of those type things. But I'm really liking it so far. Noah is definitely giving grumpy. Mr. Grumpy Pants. And hopefully he's going to turn into a sunshine later.
Okay, I have about 70, 80 pages left of One True Loves, and really what's making me read this is almost like anger, like she better freaking do what I want or I'm gonna hold a grudge forever, like type of thing. Like I just want to yell at our main character. she's being really stupid right now. But that was like, I read 220 pages yesterday, which is the most I've read in a day in a long time. So that's definitely something, because I just feel like, I don't know, I was almost starting to question, like, why am I not liking reading for so long? Like, but there was nothing that I wanted to read fast, and apparently this is it, which is very interesting to me, because I thought it was going to be hard for me to get into this book. But yeah, if you don't know, this follows our main girl, Emma, and the first chapter we start out at dinner with her fiance, Sam, and her parents, and she gets a call from Jesse, her husband, who's been missing for 3.5 years, and he says, I'm alive. And he was presumed dead, like, a few days after he went missing. And so 3.5 years later, she's engaged with someone else, and he's back in town.
Backstreet's
and
back,
they're, like,
right.
technically still married, so it's just, she's trying to figure out, like...
How are they technically married if he's presumed dead?
Well, like, to him, they're still married.
Yeah.
Like,
Gotcha.
he still calls her by his last name, and she legally changed her name back. And it's just making me anxious, because I feel like there's lots of secrets going on. And she, like, thinks she needs to stay loyal to him and, like, be with him instead. But she already is with someone else. So, it's, I don't know why it's making me so anxious, because she's not real, but it is.
I mean, it's giving...
It's like, I literally have the feelings, the intensity of reading a fantasy novel, and we're just in one small town. Like, that's how nervous this is making me. Because I definitely have a preference of who I want her to be with.
I didn't know that our main character was a famous singer, so that was, like, a surprise to me. I don't know why. I guess I've never even really, like, read the back of this.
What a me moment, honestly.
I know. I'm kind of shook because I always read the back, but I just knew it was Sarah Adams, and that's, like...
That's enough for me.
Yeah, that was all I needed to know, so...
That's why I'm excited to read the breakup tour, because I feel like a lot of books about pop stars, they're, like, on a break, on a vacation, and it's just, like, oh, no, there's someone taking a picture of me, and, like, that's the extent.
This is also kind of giving, like, for some reason... I don't know, you can tell me if you thought this at all. It's giving, like, the Hannah Montana movie a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's fair.
I don't know what it is specifically, but it is. It is.
Except he knows.
It's like he is
Travis,
and she's Molly.
Smiley Molly. But I have to skirt. If you don't know, today is Sunday, in case that wasn't mentioned, and it's Grammy Day, so we could have the date of Reputation when this video goes live.
Hoping,
Actually,
praying, wishing.
the Super Bowl will have happened when this goes live. So many things we'll unpack together. This is going to be a Taylor fan vlog and reading vlog, because this is my life, so.
They go hand in hand, honestly. So.
See you later. Hello. You might be wondering, wow, it's dark. Are they back again?
Well, it's the next day. And we're here for a little update. Why don't you go first? Because you made a lot more progress than me.
So, this book was an addiction. I finished it today or last night, however you like to think about things.
The wee hours
sleep
of
at
the
night.
morning, the late hours of the night.
And, wow. wow. I was honestly confused who I was rooting for a little bit there. Just a little bit. And then I figured it out.
Who she ended up with?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. But I'm trying to remain neutral because I don't know if I remember who I said I liked in the last clip.
Oh, okay. I don't think you did.
So, yeah, but I love this book. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think she is an amazing author. I think her writing is really good, and I think she does a really good job of, like, showing things. This also had, like, a memoir feel to it because it started present day, and then she, like, took us back through her life until where we are now, and we kind of, like, skipped around, but it made sense. I didn't feel confused. It was just, like, just enough information. I never felt like, oh, I didn't need to know that. This is drawn out. It was good. Now I want to read the rest of her backlist. So, after that, I decided...
Oh, you already started that?
No, I think I'm going
okay.
to. I think I'm going to start this, and I got my little Gigi and Bo bookmark in the mail. Cute. And I just think they go good together. And in the morning, we'll show you all of them in daylight. But, yeah. I don't know. Something about this is just really intriguing me the more that I look at it on my shelf. So, we're going to go for her next.
Okay. So, I'm on page 179. And I am just loving this book so much. So one thing that I really like about this, if you are a Hannah Montana movie stan like
I am,
Emmalynn is here, and you grew up in that era, or you are a mom to someone who grew up in that era, then you will appreciate that this, like, gives Hannah Montana movie vibes, but, like, the main characters are adults, obviously. So if Hannah Montana was an adult, it would be this book. But my favorite part of this book is the relationship with the main character has with his sisters. He has 3 sisters in the book, and, like, their family dynamic, how close they are, their traditions that they carry on and carry out through the book, and just, like, their banter with each other is just top tier. So if that's something that you find yourself gravitating to in books, I think you would really love this. But he's definitely, like, carrying out his grumpy role a little longer than I would like. It's not getting on my nerves, but I'm like, okay, buddy, like, we get it. You prove your point. You're Mr. Grumpy. But he's, like, kind of slightly... You get glimpses of his real personality throughout, so that's, like, what I'm clinging to, just hoping, by the end he'll have had a transformation.
He's also in the second book.
Yeah,
so
he needs to have a blow up in his personality. But, yeah, I'm really liking it. I like the town, the small town setting. It's giving, like, Gilmore Girls kind of vibes. How everyone's just, like, all up in each other's business.
Love it.
Like, nothing is a secret for sure. They just all know what everyone is doing. There was one thing that I thought was really cute in here. Like, he lets someone borrow his truck, and then, like, that person let someone borrow their truck, and then it was like everyone was letting each other borrow their cars. To the point, like, when they woke up in the morning, like, no one knew where their cars were. Because they were just all, like, letting each other borrow their cars. And I was like, that would never happen anywhere except a small town, for sure. But there's a lot of those moments. But I'm really enjoying it, and I'm glad that I decided to pick it up. And I'm excited to read the second one because I don't know which sister it's based off of, but I don't really care.
Annie?
Oh, okay, that's the youngest one.
With the sword.
Yeah. So yes. Oh, that. So there's 3 sisters, and the youngest sister, her name is Annie, and she has a swear notebook, and she keeps track of every time her siblings swear, and once they reach, like, I can't remember how many, once they reach a certain amount in her notebook, she makes them put a $20 bill in the swear jar, and then at the end of the year, she donates it to charity. And so, like, they all try to be on their best behavior when they're around her, but it doesn't really work out. And she just, like, casually pulls out her notebook and writes in it. It's really funny. But, yeah, I forgot about that. I really like that part. But it's a good time. Lots of laughs. I'm going to go take a bath and read. Maybe I can finish this tonight.
You can.
I think I can. It's not even 100 pages. Well, yeah, it is. Barely. So, I think I can bust this out. I am really annoyed, though. Like, this always happens to me when I really like a book. I want to get it on my Kindle so I can read it when I'm in bed. And the library, the wait time is like 10 weeks.
Oh.
So that's annoying. And it's not on Kindle Unlimited, so that's annoying, too. So, I'll just have to hurry up and read it before I go to bed. So.
You got this.
Anyways. Hopefully the next time we check in, I will have finished this, and Emmalynn will have made a lot of progress and be loving the breakup tour. And I will be giving all of the Taylor vibes. The Taylor vibes.
Hello, I'm just here to kind of chat about my feelings about the breakup tour so far. It's okay. I'm 71 pages in, which is chapter 6. And the thing that annoys me about this book is, like, we don't just acknowledge that she's famous. Like, we're going to stereotype her to what people read in magazines. Like, there was a line, I posted this on my Instagram story. If you're not following our Instagram, I'll link it down below. But there was a part, I can't find it, but she was talking about, like, her designer phone case from her favorite social media designer, and, like, oh, we're going to eat at this place. It sounds like Chipotle. And I'm going to order the vegan blah, blah, blah. I'm not vegan, but, like, celebrities are. It's just, like, stupid stuff that I don't feel is necessary to, like, I just don't feel like it's necessary to show that she's a celebrity by, like, making her snobby about the most random things. And then, like, one of our first chapters, she's talking to this guy, and he's like, you're not used to getting told no, are you? And she's like, no, I'm not. Like, okay, if this is about Taylor Swift, or inspired by Taylor Swift, is this how you perceive her? Because it's not how I perceive Taylor Swift, as being, like, the snobby, obnoxious, being vegan because other people are, but she's not. But also, I don't know if this has anything to do with Taylor Swift. It's just something I noticed. So, in this book, our main girl's parents are just getting divorced, and Taylor's parents are separated, but, like, they still have a good relationship, and that's how it is in this book, too. I'm like, if that just happened, like, whatever, okay, that's fine if that was a coincidence, but if you're, like, copying it so much that our main character's parents are also separated, that's just a little weird to me. I'm not far enough in to know, like, how I feel about them as a couple or anything, or, like, how I think their relationship's gonna play out. But, yeah. So far, I'm just there's a lot of cringy moments. That's all I can say. It's just, there's lots of cringe. We'll see how it goes. I like our main guy a lot. The girl, though, issues.
I guess I'm back with the check-in. So I started A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen, which comes out on February 27th. And this book is labeled as a fantasy romance. It has romance. Romance isn't the main plot, but there is definitely a subplot of romance, and it's only amping up as the book progresses. But this is a kind of fantasy book with a heavy Norse mythology influence. There are definitely the gods Thorin and Odin mentioned pretty frequently throughout, so you know, it just really adheres to the Norse mythology vibes. But this follows our main girl Freya, who is gifted by the gods. In this world, there's a handful of people who have different giftings from the different Norse gods, and hers is that she is a handmaiden, or a shield maiden, and she can, like, call upon the god that has gifted her to shield her from any sort of attack. And so her father, growing up, kind of made her keep this hidden because he didn't want her to be used as a pawn by different rulers in the area. And so she kept it hidden, and she was kind of sent off into an arranged marriage with a terrible, awful man who she just hates living with, hates her life with, because all she wants to do is be a warrior and go and fight. So right at the beginning of the book, she's in this marriage with this guy that she hates, and he knows that she's gifted by the gods, but she doesn't know that he knows. And he basically goes and tells the Jarl of the region, which is kind of like what I envision as like a mayor or governor, and tells him, hey, my wife is gifted by this god, you should take her as your wife, so then I'm free of her because I don't want to be married to her anymore. So he comes and he does, and then a lot happens because he thinks that she is like what the seers have foretold would make him become king. So he needs her to be his wife so that everyone will know that, hey, I have the shield maiden gifted by the goddess, and so because of that, I'm fulfilling a prophecy and I'm going to become king. So that's kind of the main plot of the story. But then the Jarl has a son named Bjorn, who is the heir to his lineage and whatever. And immediately at the beginning of the book, you see Freya meeting Bjorn, but not knowing that he's the Jarl's son. And there's like an instant attraction there. And so eventually Freya becomes Bjorn's stepmom in a way, which is really weird because the Jarl is already married to someone else, but he just wants her like as his wife in title only.
Into this are you?
Oh, I'm like 40% in. All of this has already happened. So I don't know if that's not really a spoiler because all of that stuff happens right at the beginning. And then things continue to happen. There's wars going on. There's gods like coming down to earth and intervening in all of this. And Bjorn and Freya have to work together is where I'm at. But I'm really liking it. I liked it from immediately the beginning because I was like, this girl knows what she's about. She's a strong female protagonist, but she, I don't know. I just feel like she keeps getting pushed around and keeps having to be like the pawn in other people's game. And I'm interested to see how she like hopefully ends up winning in life, you know? Anyways, also, sidebar, we placed a Gigi and Bo order. If you don't know, Gigi and Bo is a seller of bookmarks, and she is on Etsy, right?
No,
but
she was,
but now she has her own, right? And so you've ordered from her in the past, but she kind of got so popular that she has to outsource her production now. But as far as like the printing and production goes, she has outsourced that. And so she had a new drop last week, and a lot of it was Taylor Swift inspired. So obviously we had to make a purchase. So we're going to show you really quick what we got. So we both got this one.
Sarky.
Which is called The Eras Icons.
So bright.
But it has a little icon from all of the different eras. It has mirror balls, cowboy boots, cowboy hats, snakes, lavender, a red scarf, lover, just all of the things. Everything you love. And then I got this one. I don't really have like a specific reason that I got this other than I just thought it was cute and I wanted something summery. And it's like little ghosties with pool floaties and beach balls and lays.
Obviously.
And then
it reminds me of like a Hotel Transylvania when they're on the cruise ship.
That's so true. And then I got this one just because I thought it was kind of cute and springy, and it has, it's like not focusing, but oh well, it has iced coffee and books and little flowers. And then I got this one. I was like, this was made for me. It says, reading fiction is my addiction. And then lastly, I got, this looks like a little movie ticket, or just a ticket in general, but it says lifetime membership to the Antisocial Book Club. Peace and quiet guaranteed. Absolutely no social interaction allowed. Admit one introvert. Which is, it was made for me.
Okay, I only got 2 other ones. The first one I got, this as in my reading era, felt like a must. She already was like, guys, I know I need to add another color. Just like, wait a second.
And also, I like these two a lot because the pattern carries over, and this one as well, so that's really cute.
And then the last one I got is this hot pink western vibe. Very Barbie, very Ken, very Mojo Dojo Casa House. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then also, our book of the month came in today, so we thought we would show you that. So, also, I like that the bookmark says, was it something that I read? But I wanted this one. This was like the main book of the month that intrigued me, especially because I think it is YA, and book of the month doesn't often make YA books their actual book of the month picks. So I thought this looked really interesting. I really like the cover, and I love even more that the actual cover is green, because this is like my favorite color of all time. But this is a YA fantasy book about a witch and a witch hunter who have a forbidden romance, I'm guessing. But she is like kind of a vigilante who, like, she's a witch, but she is a vigilante for all of those who are turning witches in. So she like rescues them out of getting killed for being a witch. And so I don't know if she has to like kind of pretend or not being like a, I feel like there's some kind of fake something involved. I don't know if she like fake dates the witch hunter or if she fake dates someone else to like make her look like she's not a witch. I'm not sure. But I just thought it sounds really interesting, and I, again, love the cover. I think this is going to be, it's going to be a series. I don't know if it's...
I hope they're all book of the month.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
I know. But it's the Crimson Moss series. I don't know if it's a how many books are supposed to be in it, if it's just a duology, but anyways, that's book number 1. And then I got a free book because it was my birthday month, and I've had this like kind of on my radar for a while, but I just thought, you know what? We're about to move somewhere warm. I'm going to be reading by the pool a lot, I hope. On the beach a lot, I hope. And so I was like, I need some summer books to save for that time. So this is Last Summer at the Golden Hotel by Elisa Friedland. And all I know is it's a contemporary fiction book about like a family reunion that takes place at this hotel. And I feel like it's like tradition for them to come to this hotel every year. But I think the hotel is like not in ruins, but it's like going under financially. And so they're also trying to save it. But I know there's family drama. And
oh, good.
I
don't have enough of that.
I love some family drama because nothing is more contemporary or realistic than family drama.
And why do you love it?
So, anyways, we'll come back for another check-in when we've done more reading.
Actually, we need to have a chit-chat about Taylor later.
Hello. We're
slacking.
Yes,
but we're reading.
We're popping in very quickly with an update. So I finished A Fate Inked in Blood, and I really liked the story, the plot, the characters, the Norse mythology.
Good job.
The Viking vibes, all of those things. But there were some things I did not like about it, which I'll talk about when we do a wrap up at the end. But since I have started Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, and I'm on page 162, and I am
it's because she's been on Instagram.
Her. She's been on Instagram. Yeah, and it's the Super Bowl, and so we're having to check for Taylor sightings. Hello. And we missed the national anthem and Postie's song, so we had to go find that. So, priorities.
Okay, I finished the breakup tour 2 days ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I was so sad because I bought it for her on my birthday.
Yeah.
And now I probably won't even
I'll
read it.
sell it and give you the money. You can take it to our local bookstore and get credit.
Maybe.
But it was just disappointing. Like, I feel like it was trying to be Daisy Jones, modern day, and it wasn't achieving it. I thought the main girl was so annoying. And just, she's just like everything.
Was she like pick me?
Kind of. It's like, you know, when people write articles about Taylor Swift and you're like, oh my gosh, that is not her at all. She's not snobby like that. It's like she was every bad thing they've ever said about her. And I'm like, is this for the Swifties? Because this book just made me mad.
So it's not fan fiction, maybe it's like...
And like, it was so Daisy Jones to the point where I thought I still had like 20 pages left and there's a set of lyrics in the back. And like... Anyways, now I'm currently reading Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I don't think it's my favorite of hers exactly, but it is very funny. I love all her music references. This is one of the best playlists of hers, because if you don't know, in the back of all her books is a playlist. And I'm about 293 pages in. I think it's like a 420 page book, so over halfway. It's got some fake dating, it's just all over the place in a really funny way. So, yes, but it is believable, and I appreciate that. So we're here with our final thoughts. We'll give a brief little review of each book. And yeah, how was our experiment? Did we feel happier reading romance? Did we feel
I did.
Did we feel satisfied?
I
thought
did.
It was a good time.
Yes, me too. I'm so pleased with our decision.
But it also made me miss fantasy just enough to where, like, I can read something and not feel heavy.
See, I didn't have that problem because I did read one romantasy fantasy.
Well, I wasn't in the mood for fantasy when I was reading this, but after reading it, now I have motivation to read some of my fantasy TBR. She balanced out.
Okay, so do you want to talk about the one you read first?
Yes, okay. So first up, I read One True Loves. Obviously, you know this. Taylor Jenkins Reid. I already told you what it's about, if you were listening. This is my favorite of the three.
Oh.
Which is shocking. I thought this was going to be really hard for me to get into, because I'm not, like, a huge literary fiction person unless it's set, like, in a different time period, because that's some intrigue. I'm just not a huge straight up my time period, like contemporary person. I just usually need something else, unless it's like an auto-by author like Taylor Jenkins Reid. And this was just so good. I just really loved it. It really surprised me in a lot of ways. It felt real. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this. If you thought it was like book talk only, you know how, like, obviously her most famous book was probably The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but, you know, with all the hype around those books, then people go back with their backlist, just like people do with Jennifer Lynn Barnes. They read the Inheritance Games, and then they go and read her other seven. So sometimes you're like, are you biased, or is it actually good? This is actually good. I love it. Now I want to read her other backlist books that are probably just as sad.
Okay, so I first read When in Rome. Now, kind of the opposite of what Emmalynn just talked about. So I've read a lot of Sarah Adams' backlist and not many of her current books. So I haven't read Cheat Sheet, but I have read her duology that's set in Nashville, and I've read her Regency duology, and then here we are. So this book was 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it so much. I want to live where they live. This book gives adult Hannah Montana movie. So if you were growing up watching Hannah Montana as a child or a mom, you would probably see the similarities. But I loved the small town feel. I loved the side characters. I loved the romance. I loved literally everything about this. The banter. Everything was just top tier. I loved it so much. I can't say enough good things.
Okay. After that, I read The Breakup Tour, which was my most disappointing book. I don't know how to explain it, really. I just didn't like it. Like, it never clicked with me. Like, I was never like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what happens. And I feel like the musical aspect was honestly lacking, besides the fact that, like, oh my gosh, she's so great. Oh my gosh, how does she do it? Oh my gosh, she's so famous. Oh my gosh, if I didn't do this, would she have been this famous? Like, is this what got her into the spotlight? Like, those kinds of things. And it just didn't feel as, like, creative or believable as Daisy Jones. And I know, like, they're obviously in different time periods. This is obviously a different format. Obviously, it's about a couple, not a band. But it just felt too similar in some ways that I couldn't not compare. Like, there's a bunch of lyrics in the back and stuff, and I'm like, these are not that good. Like,
So the authors wrote those songs? Like, how many?
There's, jeez.
That's quite a bit.
1, 2, 3. There's only 3.
Oh.
And, like, some things I was like, oh, that was pretty good, I guess. But, like, if it was a song, would I listen to it? No. I don't know. It fell flat for me. I feel like, really, if they didn't mention things about Taylor Swift, this wouldn't sell as much as it probably is. Mm-mm. Like, if you took out all the Taylor Swift stuff on the synopsis, it's kind of cheesy. Like, they hit some wrong notes in the past. There was always a musical metaphor that was just absolutely ridiculous. Like
they're trying to
Disney
make it work.
Channel quality. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, the amount of times they said the word harmony, and I'm like, do you even know what that is? It was too much and not enough, you know?
The next book I read was A Fate Inked in Blood, which I don't have a physical copy of because it's not out yet. I think it comes out on February 27th. But it's by Daniel Jensen, who's the same author of the Bridge Kingdom Is it a duology series? Which I haven't read, so this is my first exposure to her writing. But here's what I would say. I really loved the plot. I loved the Norse mythology. I loved the main character and the two main characters. I actually really enjoyed this too, and if you like the show The Last Kingdom, I think you would really like this book because it reminds me a lot of that, and that's like one of my all-time favorite shows. However, there was a lot of adult content, and by that I mean like not just sexual scenes, which there were a few of those, but just like innuendos, quite a bit of language. I feel like if they would have taken that out, it would have probably increased my rating and my overall experience. But it did end on a cliffhanger, and this is going to be at least a duology, I would think. So I will continue the series because I am genuinely invested in the characters. So this is an adult fantasy. The world building is not super complex, but there is a lot of political things happening in the world that they live in, so that is a little tedious to try to remember. And like their government system is obviously, relevant to that time period. So there was like even some words that I've never heard of a jarl as a political figure. Like, is that a governor or mayor? I'm not really sure like what that would be a parallel to. Yeah. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I would recommend it, but I would just say it is adult fantasy for a reason. So take that for what you will.
Okay, my last one was Betting on You by Lynn Painter, and I did enjoy this a lot, and for some reasons I liked it more than others, and for some reasons I didn't like it more than others. I feel like this could have almost been an adult book if they were older. And there wasn't like any sexual scenes, but there was a lot of like jokes and stuff, which I know is prevalent with this age group. I know it happens, especially with guys. And a lot more language, like, I don't know. Sometimes when I read things written by adults about teenagers, I'm like, just
thinking that.
Is this how you perceive them, or is this how you work?
Okay, side note, because I'm reading Better Than the Movies, which is obviously by Lynn Painter too. And she keeps using the phrase jag. Like, oh, he's such a jag. And I'm like, I've literally never heard anyone use this before. I had to look up what it meant. I'm like, is this like something from a different country? Or I guess it kind of is like a British term for jerk.
Like, okay, maybe you were like this. And, I'm like an old soul. So, like, I get it. I know lots of people act this way. And so, like, it's not completely abnormal. I just hate being represented in that way. Like, listen, I know teenagers act like this, but, like, can we just act like we don't? Did like this book. I do like them as a couple, but I also feel like there was too many side plots going on, and that's why it's this long. Because none of her books are this long, because, like, there's a lot of side characters in her other books, but they don't have much to do with the plot. But it seemed like every side character had a plot in this book, and so it was a little confusing at times and almost unrealistic. Like, girl, this is how much things happened to me in 1 year. Not like these few months. It was a lot. It was a lot. Also, my number one pet peeve is the girl in the book doesn't even have red hair. It's just that Lynn Painter puts redheaded girls on all of her covers.
That's interesting.
And I don't know why. Like, they were talking about how she has, like, dark, short hair, and where? Red, long hair.
You have red hair and you're not feeling represented.
I just don't, like, what's the point of putting someone with red hair on the cover if they don't have red hair in the book?
I don't know.
Because, like, that's how I pictured the guy. I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I liked it. It's
Okay.
just interesting.
And then we have Practice Makes Perfect. And when I thought I couldn't like anything more than this, then this came along and I was like, I like you better. I think this is my favorite book of the year so far.
Honestly, it's so good.
And it's so cute. And it's pink and it has flowers. And it's just
hilarious.
so adorable. Like, Sarah Adams, even in her Regency duology, has like the best inner dialogue talent that she has that I feel like no one else has mastered quite as well.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And let me just say that if it wasn't clear before, it's perfectly clear now that I will read anything and everything multiple times that she writes. I kind of already want to read these, honestly. Like,
that's how I feel. Now that you've been talking about them, this one especially, Annie is my everything. I love her so much. She's like Meg March contemporary.
Yeah. She's great. I love her. And I love the cameos, like, of Noah and Amelia, the main couples of... I mean, they're like my best friends. We're on a first name basis in this book. And then they're all together again. And it's just,
so cute.
I love it so much. I love it so much. And I purchased the cheat sheet from Pango. It will be here Saturday. And you better believe I will be reading that one as soon as it comes in. Because I really want the second one.
Yeah.
On NetGalley. But I probably won't get it. But I'll probably still ask for it. Actually, I think I already did. But I'll buy it anyways because I want to have it. And I want to go back and buy the Regency ones too because you really need to read those.
Yeah.
Maybe we should wait till they redo the covers.
You know what we need? A Sarah shelf. We need a Sarah J. Maas, Sarah Adams shelf in our house.
You're right.
They do no wrong.
They don't. They deserve it. They really deserve it.
So now...
Anyways, this was a great
experiment.
I think we should do it more often.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm kind of in a romance era right now, honestly. I am reading better than the movies, and I am starting to enjoy it. The first part was a little slow.
There's so much backstory.
But now that we're into the main event, the main plot line...
I like Wes more than Liz.
Yes.
Me and my friend Abby always talk about how Liz is low-key annoying.
Yes.
But we love Wes,
but
so we love her.
So.
We love Wes, so we love her because he loves her, you know? So...
You know what I thought was really cute? This isn't really a spoiler, I don't think. But he bought her Chucks, and I just thought that was so cute. I was like, oh, that's so
buying
cute.
shoes is next level commitment.
Yeah.
Like, they're expensive.
Yeah. I just thought that was so cute. Because he wanted her to have them, so he bought her
I feel like next month we should do a fantasy only for a week video. And then
yeah,
like
but I don't know that it would
thriller.
bring as much joy. But we could
do
try.
fantasy
We can try.
romance.
We could, like, record our thoughts, make a hypothesis, journal our feelings along the way, and then see if this was, like, top tier. I wish yours would have been a little more life-giving.
It's really just...
Yeah, okay. That's
like,
fair.
you know, there were some good moments. It was like a reality TV show. You're like, this is so fake.
That's fair.
But, like, I'm here. It wasn't bad enough to DNF. It just didn't... I think my expectations were too high.
Anyways, we will do this again. For sure.
Yes.
This might be like a
slump cure.
Yes.
100%. I was in a slump.
These, they'll get you right out. They'll get you right out real fast. Guaranteed. Or money back.
No.
Okay. I mean, you can buy them, but yeah. Anyways. Yeah, that's all our thoughts. Let us know what your favorite Sarah Adams book is.
Let us know your favorite romance, too.
Yeah, because we need more. More is more. More is more.
Okay.
Okay.
Toodles.
Bye.